In this video, I'm going to show you how to establish sync in Logic. Here's an example of this where Logic's timecode counter agrees with the timecode burn in the film in two places. At the very top, bar 1, beat 1, and at the very end of the film. Now, how easily you can achieve sync all depends. Can you sense my hesitation here? How easily you can achieve sync in Logic has everything to do with whether or not the work print you get was prepared correctly. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you how to get that, hopefully, from the filmmaker. So the very first thing you want to do is open the movie in QuickTime and hit Command-I to show the inspector. And here's where you'll see the frame rate of the video. Now, in this case, it's 2997, of which there are two flavors. There's 2997 drop frame and 2997 non-drop. It's not possible for the inspector to distinguish between these two different timecode formats. But if your video, again, if it's been properly prepared, shows a semicolon in between the seconds and the frames, that's your indication that this video was prepared with a 2997 drop frame timecode burn. Now, you might also get that information from the editor or filmmaker who supplied you with the film, but you should always check yourself. And I'll get into why I'm being so emphatic about that in the next video. Let's take a look at another movie in QuickTime. This one says it's at a 23.98 frame per second frame rate. Now, here's something you should know about this. 23.98 is shorthand, is a rounding up of the actual frame rate, which is 23.976. Another important thing to know is that frame rates of 23.98 or 23.976, which are the same, is not the same frame rate as 24 frames per second. So these are a couple of important things to be aware of. Now, notice that the very first frame of this video has a BITC of 03, 59 minutes, 52 seconds, and 0 frames. This is the BITC of the very first frame of film, and in order to achieve sync in Logic, you need to inform it as to what that frame number is. So before you open the movie in Logic, go to the Project Settings synchronization window and enter that number here. Now open the movie. If the movie has a soundtrack in it, you'll get this little window. Make sure both boxes are checked because you always want to import the audio. And you may see a window like this if the frame rate of the movie doesn't match the frame rate of your current project. Logic is very good at detecting the frame rate from the movie file itself. So if you get this window, just confirm that the frame rate is what it should be. And load the movie. At this point, the movie and the audio will be aligned at bar 1, beat 1. The time code shown in Logic's timecode counter will match the BITC in that first frame of film. And now all you've got to do is check that you have sync. To do that, go to the very end of the movie. And if the timecode numbers in Logic's timecode counter and the BITC match, plus or minus 1 or 2 frames at the most, then ta-da, you've achieved sync. When you take this approach of entering the BITC number into the synchronization window before loading the movie, it has the time-saving effect of automatically entering that value into the movie position field in the movie project settings. And this is the actual place in a Logic project that stores that very first BITC number. You never, ever want to change that number. If you want to slip the picture so that bar 1, beat 1 coincides with a different part of the film, you can change the value that you initially set in the synchronization window. As you can see, changing the SMPTE position of bar 1, beat 1 offsets earlier or later into picture. However, my preferred way of doing it is to slip picture from the tempo list. In some respects, the information that you see in the synchronization pane and the tempo list are the same. If you change the SMPTE position in one, it will change in the other. But this is just my preferred window to slip picture in. Now, there's another way you can slip picture, but I recommend never taking this approach. So just for informational purposes, you can click and hold on the thumbnail images in the global movie track and slip picture this way, but just don't do it. It causes more problems than it's worth. Speaking of problems, in the next video, I'm going to tell you what you need to communicate to a filmmaker or editor to get the kind of work print that you need to work with so you can achieve perfect sync.